Welcome back. On today's episode, we're talking about boundaries. So ladies, in the process of really discovering who your true self was, what were the boundaries that you felt like were the most vital to you?
I feel like, first of all, learning how to say no, because having to perpetuate this fantasy girl kind of persona, I learned that I didn't have a no, other than the couple of fake boundaries that I made up, I didn't have a no. And then beyond that, I feel like the next level was learning that I am not responsible for other people's wants, needs, and feelings.
That's right.
And that was really huge for me because not only in the sex industry was that all about responding to other people's wants, needs, and feelings, but my relationships were built on that. And even as a child, my role in the household had to do with catering to my mother in her addiction and trying to make sure that she was okay and being the peacekeeper in the house. And so it's been a huge journey for me to figure out what it looks like to not take responsibility for someone else. It's like, if someone had a feeling, it was my job to fix it if it was a bad feeling. If someone had a need, it was my job to meet it. If someone wanted something from me, it was like the amount of guilt that I would feel for saying no was just unbearable. So I would respond and take responsibility. And then the third layer for me has been learning that I am responsible for my wants, needs, and feelings, and beginning the journey of identifying what those are and what do I feel and what do I want. So those were the three major things for me.
Has that last part been a fun process for you? Like to be able to discover that?
It has been fun, but it's so counterintuitive for me because my intuition tells me that what I want doesn't matter and what I feel doesn't matter, and it's about what other people want and feel. And so it's been challenging because a lot of times I feel selfish. If I'm like, you know what I need right now? I need to not take that phone call and I need to have some quiet time. It's like my first instinct is that's selfish. But then I have to tell myself, no, who else is going to take care of me if I don't? And if I can't take care of me and if I can't be in a good place, then I'm not going to be able to effectively help anybody else. And if I do, it's coming from a codependent place rather than a place of genuine desire to invest in someone else.
It's life-changing. What about you, ladies? Bronwyn, how about you?
I was like, my response is exactly the same as Harmony's in an Australian accent. Because I'm sitting here going, in an Australian accent. So,
which probably would have sounded prettier, so maybe we should have done that.
How about you, Chrissy?
I don't know what I could say any different than what she said. But yeah, it was hard for me to say no. That was a big thing, especially in dating relationships. I always felt obligated to do things that I didn't really want to do.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure I've met a female who, I don't know if it's just a woman thing or what, but who doesn't deal with this issue of saying no, like whether it's in the workplace arena or like everywhere. I feel like women deal with this issue, so it's important. And what healthy boundary do you feel like has been the most difficult to set up for yourself?
Mine would be boundaries in dating. To say no when I don't want to do something with somebody, or
in any kind of way.
Yeah,
like
any kind of way. I would, if I was dating somebody, they essentially became my god, and I would do anything for them. I would cook, clean, everything, whatever they wanted, and be the fantasy.
Wow, that's a really hard job.
Yeah. It was, and it's not really very fulfilling, and I don't think, and I don't think that they even appreciated it anyway.
mine's probably been professional. Like, I solo parent 3 little girls, and part of that for me is that I don't want my children to grow up to be future hope chicks. So I'm there when the bell goes in the morning, and I'm there when the bell goes in the afternoon, because it's like no one else can be their mum. So finding a team that can navigate the in-between bits and delegate, learning to delegate for me was kind of like, I look at my life and I'm like, I don't think I'm a control freak, but I look back over my life, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I want to know that's going to be done and it's going to be done well. And, I used to do that when I was a drug addicted prostitute. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it well. So then it was, I'm going to establish this charity and I don't know what that looks like and how do you run a board meeting, and so I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that well. And learning to delegate for me, having the revelation that I'm the only mum, I'm essentially the only engaged parent in my kid's life. So it's like I want to do that well, and I want that to be the relationship apart from God and myself that is my next priority. And then learning that all of the professional stuff can come after that. Watching God find a dream team for me has been incredible. And for those that are still coming to that dream team, I'm praying for them. That's going to be incredible. Yeah.
Awesome. Could be one of our viewers.
You never know.
How about you, Harmony? Any thoughts to add?
We are connected, I think, to the previous concept, but just when someone comes to me with a sense of entitlement, whatever that thing they feel entitled to, and it's like, I need this, and if I'm like, no, and they're like, but I need, then being able to set the boundary and say, well, just because someone else has a need doesn't mean I have to meet it. And when I felt like, and this is a journey I'm on right now, but at the beginning of this year, I felt God show me that what he's asking me to allow myself to be released from are ungodly expectations, those things that people expect of me that are not expectations that I should rise to, and even the expectations I put on myself that God isn't asking of me. So that's the journey I'm on.
It's awesome. Next up, we're going to be answering your questions about boundaries.